In this video, we will be reviewing the preparation for a VOCO test. The very first thing you want to do before doing an experiment is make sure that all of your devices are charged. So the mobile phone or the mobile device, simply turn it on to check the charge. This is at 39%. For the heart rate monitor, you press the silver button on the side, and then once you see that the lights have turned on, you check this light, and upon startup it will flash green if it's fully charged, and then continue to flash between green and white. If this turns on and the light is orange, that means that the heart rate monitor needs to be charged before the experiment begins again, or there is risk of losing the heart rate signal during the experiment. For the VOCO, simply turn it on. If this light is blue, then it's ready to go. When you turn on the VOCO, the pump will start up, stop, and then restart again. Inside the VOCO, there is a control system which controls the flow rate of the VOCO. The starting and stopping of the pump is simply the control system setting the flow rate correctly. If the VOCO needs more charge, it's possible to remove this protective cap. This is a waterproof cap, and then connect the VOCO charging cable to this port. You line up these two holes with the pins in here. And then, let's see. There we go. This way. It's helpful to remember that this is supposed to be facing upwards, and that'll help you out in lining up the holes. This little cuff here, you want to make sure that it's just finger tight, again turning clockwise to connect it, and this ensures that the connection here remains waterproof. Store the cap away so that it can be put back later. However, in this case, we do not need to use the charging cable, so we can simply remove it, put the cable back, and put the cap back on. Another thing to check before doing a test is the calibration column. You want to make sure that there is still enough chemical, which is good, to use during this the test. The dry rate should be mostly blue. In this case, we would want to change the chemicals before a lengthy test. However, a brief test, 15 minutes, is probably fine. And then the soda lime as well. If this is mostly purple, then the column should be changed. Other simple checks to complete before a test: make sure all of the components are present, the mask, the headgear, the adapter, the PTAC tube, the gas tube, and the Nafion, and then making sure the components are all stable, not broken from lots and lots of use. And the tubing, this tubing is generally fairly stable. However, over many years of use, the Nafion does eventually wear away here. You want to make sure that the condition of your Nafion tube is still in good condition before you begin a test. In this video, we will demonstrate how to set up a profile and register on the VOCO app. So after you install the VOCO app and place a shortcut on your home screen, you can enter the app. The landing page will appear, giving you the option to either log in or register. So if you're a new user, you want to hit the register button and enter in all of the information fields here. Enter in the email that you want to associate with your profile, the name, date of birth, gender, and metric imperial, height, weight, and set your own password. After you've filled in all of this information, you can hit register, and a little message will appear at the bottom of the screen saying that you have been registered, and from then you will receive an email at the email address that you entered here, and it will prompt you to verify your email address. Click on the button in the email and it'll bring you to a landing page saying that your email has been verified and that you are registered. So from then on, you'll be able to go back to this main page, log in, enter in your email, your password, and if you forget your password, you can use this handy forget your password button. In this video, we will be reviewing how to connect all of the proper devices to the VOCO app. So on the start, the VOCO app automatically goes to the exercise page. To easily access the app, we recommend on your home screen to place this shortcut here. So you can simply press the home screen and then enter the app. First, we're going to show you how to connect the VOCO to the VOCO app. So first, go into Settings, ensure the device is turned on, ensure that Bluetooth on the Android device is turned on, and then click on VOCO device. Here, we can see that it is not connected. So once we click on here, the app will automatically start searching for available VOCO devices. Each VOCO has a unique identifier, and this can be handy if you have multiple VOCO devices turned on for a training session with multiple people. So to connect, simply press connect, wait a few seconds, and then here we will show that the VOCO device is connected and some information about the hardware, firmware, and software. If you wish to disconnect from the device, you can press this gray button down here. So the VOCO heart rate monitor comes so that it automatically connects to the VOCO device already. However, if you needed to ever unpair and pair the heart rate monitor, simply press unpair, and then again you can reconnect it here. If there are multiple heart rate monitors in a session, again, each heart rate monitor will have a unique identifier, and that identifier can be found on the side of the heart rate monitor here. So the ID number here is 6819B421, and we see here in the app that that matches. So we know that that is the heart rate monitor we have to connect to. And now we can see here that the VOCO device is connected and the heart rate sensor is connected. And then if we go back to the exercise page, we see here that the VOCO is connected because the circle is green. We see here that the heart rate monitor is connected because the circle is green. And we can also see that the VOCO SD card is inserted in the VOCO because the SD card icon is green. If the SD card were not inside of the VOCO, then this icon would be gray. In this video, we will demonstrate the calibration setup and the calibration of the VOCO device. It is generally recommended to complete a calibration before collecting data. The calibration process is quick to complete. First, connect the PTAC tube. These silver fittings are quick disconnects, so simply press the tubing on, it'll automatically connect. To remove it, pull up on the collar. Similarly for the gas tube, connect it to the gas port, simply push it in. To remove it, push down. It's good to hold on to the tube so it doesn't go flying. Push it in, and then let these vent. It's important not to calibrate while you are actively breathing through the VOCO. So on the VOCO app, to calibrate, go to Settings, and then go to Calibrate VOCO Device. So The calibration page of the VOCO device has 4 different sections. The first section covers automatic calibration. The automatic calibration of the feature allows the VOCO to maintain stable readings in changing temperatures, and it can be turned on to any set of frequency. So if you move this slider here, you can change the calibration cycle to trigger every 2 minutes, every 20 minutes, once every half hour. I generally recommend to set the cycle to every 2 minutes. This is how the VOCO automatically comes. If you wish to turn off automatic calibration, turn off the slider. If you wish to have it on, turn it back on. Next is the oxygen span calibration, making sure that the gas tube is just pulling from ambient air. Hit calibrate, and then this window will come up saying start oxygen span calibration. Hit confirm, and then wait for this calibration complete message to appear. Next is the flow zero calibration. Ensure that nothing is connected to this tube and that it is not blocked. And then hit the calibrate button, again, confirm, and now the flow signal has been zeroed. Finally is the CO2 zero calibration. And again, during this particular calibration, the VOCO will be pulling from the VOCO calibration column. So again, we hit calibrate, confirm, and the calibration is complete. The VOCO is now calibrated and ready to use. In this video, we will be reviewing how to set up the mask and connect the rest of the tubing to the VOCO device. The hands-ward-off mask here is set up such that the nose is at the top and the chin is at the bottom. It contains a slot here, which is used to connect the PTAC adapter. So the PTAC adapter has this thin ridge, which will go into the slot. The mask is a pliable silicone material, so it can be stretched around to fit into the adapter. It's important that the gas port on the side of the adapter faces outwards, generally to the side, and this will allow the air to clearly pull from the main flow of breath gas. It's important that the port does not face downwards, because then condensation could pool and plug the hole. Next, attach the PTAC, the pneumatic, to the PTAC adapter. It's important to push the PTAC all the way into the PTAC adapter. So first, place the PTAC, and then place your hand on the end of the PTAC and push in. When the PTAC is fully pushed in, it should cover about half of this triangle right here. It's important not to handle the PTAC by the screen, because the screen is what affects the calibration of the flow for the VOCO. So next, to connect the mask and the rest of the tubing, first we start with the PTAC tube. The PTAC tube has this lure connector here, which attaches to the end of the PTAC. Insert the fitting and rotate clockwise just so that it's finger tight, and then it won't fall off. Next, connect the Nafion to the mask adapter, or the PTAC adapter. I generally recommend to follow the natural curve of the Nafion tubing so that when it's fully rotated inwards, the natural curve flows down. And then it'll be quite much easier to connect this end of the gas tube to this end of the PTAC tube. Next, for putting the mask onto the patient, the headgear here, this particular buckle goes at the top of the user's head, and I usually use the tag to sort of orient myself which way is up and down. The text normally faces up when the headgear is in the correct position. These tabs lock into the supports on the hands Rudolph headgear. And before attaching the mask to your head or to anyone else's head, it's usually easier to connect the top two tabs and then put the headgear over top of the user's head, and then connect the remaining two tabs down here. This will make it a lot easier to put the mask on if you're by yourself as well. So now that the VOCO is calibrated, all of the tubing is connected, the final step is just to make sure that all of the, the wearables are comfortable, and then you're ready to go. In this video, we will demonstrate how to wear the heart rate monitor that comes with the VOCO package. The Polar OH1 heart monitor here should be turned on, and a circle of green lights will appear. The circle of green lights is actually part of the optical sensing that detects your heart rate. Place the heart rate monitor into the cradle here. You'll see that the button and the light line up with these two indents. It clicks into place. Make sure the lights are facing outwards, and then the heart rate monitor can be worn simply either on the user's forearm or on their upper arm, wherever is most comfy. The band can be adjusted at 2 points.